Hi, my name is Robert Shelley with Shelley Law, and my law firm assists physicians with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about how to navigate partnership track as an associate physician. So, normally the partnership track is offered to people coming out of training. It's usually between 2 to 3 years. And there are a number of things that the physician needs to think about that I'm going to go over right now. So what is partnership? Well, it means you have an ownership interest in the practice. Obviously, partnership's not going to be available if you're working for a hospital or healthcare network. This will only present as an opportunity for like a physician-owned group. And so when you do buy into the practice, theoretically, you'll have access to maybe new income streams. So perhaps you'll have an ownership interest in the building, or maybe a lab, maybe an ambulatory surgery center. These are all things that are tangential to the practice of medicine, but not specifically about like physician provided services. So those are new income streams that could become available to the associate. As I stated before, usually it's a 2 to 3 year tract. Now, there are some things you need to think about as far as compensation. I find most practices who offer like a pretty quick partnership tract depress the compensation for that period of time. So if you have a 3-year partnership tract, you can expect to make less than the average, maybe, in your specialty coming out of training. Why do they do this? Well, it's like a carrot on the stick, so that if you get through that 2 or 3 year period, you're then theoretically going to bump up substantially in compensation, and then it saves the practice a little bit of money with their new associates. You also need to be careful about practices that, say that partnership is potentially available, but don't actually ever provide it to the associates. That's just a way for them to get, cheap labor for 2 or 3 years. So ask them, how many associates have you denied partnership to? That way you'll understand if it's not kind of some, like illusory promise or not. As far as how much it costs, I find it's kind of all or nothing, meaning it's like a de minimis value, either $1, $10 to buy in, or it could be, $100,000. I think it's less common to have a large buy-in number. I think it's much more, available nowadays for practices to offer partnership without any kind of buy-in. If there is a large buy-in, it doesn't mean it's, kind of a terrible deal. But normally those are structured through a promissory note. So basically what they would do, let's just say you had $100,000 buy-in. They determine like an amount of time where they would just take out a portion of that buy-in at every paycheck, maybe 3 or 4 years. And then at the end of the period, you're fully bought into the practice. As I said before, the major red flags are practices that don't actually offer partnership. And then one of the, red flags in the minds of the physicians I talk to is, well, there aren't any details about the partnership in the contract. What's that about? Well, think of it this way. No practice is going to contract or guarantee that they're going to offer partnership to somebody who hasn't even set foot in the building yet. It'd be like promising to marry somebody 3 years down the line. You don't know what's going to happen within that 3-year period, and so you could the associate could get there and it's just a terrible personality fit, and the contract states if it was in there that they have to offer partnership after a period of time, and then the group's forced into going into business with someone that they just don't get along with at all. So there almost never is going to be any kind of details about the partnership. There may be a short paragraph that just says the group will entertain offering partnership after a 2-year period or something like that. but they're not going to put details about, what the buy-in is, what the comp structure is once you become a partner, that type of thing. It's also possible they could change how they do it between when you sign the contract and when they actually offer partnership, and so they don't want to be locked into a certain compensation structure as well. So it certainly can be very lucrative for someone to buy into a physician-owned practice, but you just have to kind of take into account all of these potential pitfalls as well. If you have any questions about your employment agreement or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm at the phone number and website listed below. And I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.